morning, man. How you doing, Joe?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I'm good, man. What are you cracking up at over there, man? You just entertaining yourself?
Some microphone, speaker, headphone difficulty, and we got it all set up, right before you started. And then I was like, I really like having my headphones on, so I'm just gonna try and see if the headphones work without the microphone. And then, it was like a split decision, second, split second decision. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And then I was just happy that you were able to hear me and I was able to hear you when you said, "How are you?"
Wow. You went, so background here for the audience. Joe's feeling squirrely today then. So for 10 minutes, we've been trying to get sound. We come up with a whole different plan. I click go live. And now we went back to the plan that didn't work, that you magically got to work in the 42-second intro.
Well, I usually have this microphone that I use, and I plug in my headphones to the microphone, and everything goes through the microphone.
I see.
Now, I'm not using the microphone, and I just plugged into the headphone jack.
Yeah. See, it's not all rainbows and butterflies in this,
it's hard work.
Podcaster world of ours.
It's
That's right.
Hard, complicated work,
Adam. Yeah. Well, hey, look, we're chatting, we're hanging out. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
I have a question, and I think this is a really niche topic this morning here to roll on with. But I need to put it out there in case as documentation and of maybe something if something terrible happens. Do you have a water softener, right?
Yes, I do.
I do. Yeah. So we have one here at this house, and it's the first one that I've ever had. And I've come to adopt the idea of the water softener. I like it. I used to think it was a bit of a cult thing because people would tell me about it and I had to have it and blah, blah, blah. It came with the house. So last month I changed up the salt because I usually get the Morton's yellow bag. I don't know what it does, or I don't even know what a water softener really is. I just know I have to have it now. And I changed up the brand to this other brand of yellow salt. I know. And now I taste it. And I swear, I think I'm poisoning myself. And I'm like, Adam, there's no way that you're poisoning yourself. But the water tastes different, and it literally tastes salty. So my coffee is screwed up. I think I'm drinking salt water. So I've been drinking less water and perhaps replacing that with a little bit of wine, which is not a good alternative. And And I feel like I'm slowly pickling myself as I'm waiting for this other bag of salt to cycle through. And I just need somebody to be like, it's all in your head, Adam. So to compound it, I tell Kelly of this, and she thinks I'm absolutely insane. She's like, there's no difference in the water. It's fine. And like, I'm taking a shower, it burns my eyes, like something's wrong. And now I'm wondering if I poured like pool chemicals in there instead of water softener, but it was in the same spot that all the water softener salt was. So then Kelly goes, well, you got your flu and your COVID shot last, a few days ago. This is probably COVID messes with people's tastes. This is probably what's happening. And I'm like, there's not actual COVID in there, babe. That's not the thing. But now I'm like, well, maybe she is. So I guess my two questions are, has anybody ever changed their salt and noticed this challenge? And B, has anybody gotten their COVID vaccine and suddenly everything tasted salty? Because I'm just going to go buy a case of water today and drink that while I got my regular salt back. I put that in. So I figure a case of water while I'm cycling through my old salt to new salt, and I'll be okay.
So are you because of this, you're going back to the old salt that you had?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't like variables or change. No, my other salt was great. I don't need to touch it.
What if that's, what if you can't find that salt? Sometimes there's a salt for like a year there. Sometimes there was I couldn't get a hold of the salt that I usually get.
Well, the good news is, I'm sorry. The good news is I've already got my old salt back. It's here. It's in the house. I've got it. I took care of that. But what happened in that experience? So you as well pay attention to the brand. You're not just like, hey, grab any old bag.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't really pay attention. There's one I was just told when the softener was put in, use this one. It's the best one. So I just go and do that. But whenever I've used other brands,
Yeah.
there is no difference. Now, there's a few differences between you and I. You might have a more sensitive palate than I do.
No, I feel like I'm drinking straight
Yeah.
salt water. It's not a focused palate. I do have a trained palate, but
You have a sommelier's palate. Now this is so maybe that's the that's the downside of having a trained palate is now you notice that there's a different kind of salt in your water.
yeah, well, it's not right, man. Like I say, it burns my eyes. It's
Yeah.
just not the right stuff, man. Like something's not right here. And
Now,
when like something just happened with your micro? I don't know if it's like if you got excited, it got close to it. Yeah, that blasted right through there, man. I'm not sure.
So did you when you bought this new salt, were you worried that it might
No, didn't think twice
change
about
things?
it. Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
it's there you go.
So it's not some kind of self-fulfilling. I worried about this, and now I'm down. Now it's psychologically. There's
No, I
something
didn't.
that
No,
tastes
I've totally backtracked into it. I've been like, why am I? Thank you, Robert. It's 5 Canadian. I'm not sure how far that's going to go. I'm sorry. I should be more gracious. Folks, that comment is brought to you by our good friends at Husbandry.pro.
Focus. There it is.
And all joking aside, this is absolutely genuine. I didn't even, Robert doesn't even know I'm about to say this. I'm actually about to make like a top 5 video on YouTube of the 5 ways that Husbandry.pro saves me time and makes me more efficient. I am finding, again, genuinely, it's almost like a skill stack. The more information you get in the Husbandry.pro and the more that you use it, the more efficient it becomes. So now I'm at the point where I'm printing off my feeding charts. My whole breeding plan is in there. When I create, when animals hatch, they're already created, blah, 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 all that stuff. So like that initial curve that you're like learning curve, it's pretty monumental, I have to say, especially if you have a lot of snakes. But once you get there, the benefits just multiply. So anyway, thank you to Robert, and thank you for the bottle of water for a bottle or 2 of water there. So I know nobody tuned in for a water softening debate, but no, I did not think twice about that.
That's your one thing.
No, that's just in my head. I think I'm poisoning myself when I'm afraid, like I'm having trouble sleeping because I'm like, what if I can't die? I'm not ready to die. I can't die. Plus, like, I can't be. How did Adam die? He poisoned himself. Yeah. Like, if I'm going to get poisoned, like send me a good Russian spy to off me. Like, I don't need to do this with my.
Why are you making a leap from a different salt to Adam dying? That's kind of a little.
You hear of people being stranded on the ocean drinking salt water and they die. It's not a giant leap. Like, you can't drink salt water and live, and that's what I think I've been doing for 3 days. Joe,
I guess, man. I don't know.
As you know, Joe, my body is a temple. Okay, this is very concerning to me.
Well, I think you're gonna be okay. How long does it take for you to like cycle through salt?
Couple weeks. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna let the water run. I could just turn on the tub for a day though, right? And just bang through it.
I guess, yeah.
I know. Yeah. I know there's other concerns there. I shouldn't just let the water run for a full day in the tub, but I could. What if it is? What if I'm feeding that to my snakes, to my rodents? I could be homeless in a week.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't be too concerned. You got it in the same spot. Do you still have the packaging? Should we discuss?
No. Well, I'm thinking of
Should we take a look
Googling
at
it.
the patch?
Yeah, I'm going to give the people a call. Let's move on. Anyway, if people, if there's my demise, what's happened. Yeah.
It's the salt.
That's the salt, man. Yeah. No, what's your one thing, Joe? What do you got? What's fun this week?
What was fun this week? It was Chelsea's birthday. That was really
That's
fun. Yeah.
right. Do you
So
know
we
a little? Do you know what her AOL handle was back in high school?
No.
I will tell you, and it's how I remember her birthday. Her AOL handle was Sapphire 915. So September 15th is the date.
That's still her handle.
Oh, is it? Wait, I thought it was tight end sacks and
No, that's just fantasy. Yeah. So
gotcha.
no, that's still it. Yeah, 9:15. We had a blast. It was fun. Yeah, and we went out by ourselves on Saturday night, had a great time, and then went to brunch, and then had some folks over on Sunday. It was a good time. It was a really
cool.
fun time. It was a lot of fun. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, do you exchange gifts on birthdays? How do you handle gifts? How do you come up? Like, is there a certain amount that you spend? Because you and Kelly have been together for a long time,
right?
Yeah, so in the beginning, there's certain ways that you think about it, and then it kind of morphs over time, and especially with a child too.
Yeah.
So you're getting gifts for the child to give, like that kind of thing. Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, so it's all pretty well planned out, and generally it's done on Amazon, which is all in Kelly's name. So she gets a little email when I purchase it. So so there's that. Like, we generally talk about it.
The mystery's
gone. Christmas gifts. There's actually a list. There's like a list on Amazon that you could just buy off of. And the whole family, like her extended family, like we all exchange these lists so that we all know not to buy the same thing for each other. So you could actually literally cross it off the list that it's already taken care of. And then we go through the charade of wrapping it and putting it under the tree, which
that's a true charade then in your house, because you already know.
Yeah.
It's crossed off the list. Yeah.
But I do go out of my way to try and go around it. So like, that's like the baseline, and that's totally acceptable. But then, like, if there's fun things that really fit, we'll do that. And then we'll put in like you say, you go out with brunch, have friends over, like you might know that's coming, but you're still going to have the fun time, the fun experience versus just like a thing arriving. So like, this last birthday, it just happened to coincide with the live recording of Wait, Don't Tell Me. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
The car trips we've taken together over the years, we used to always listen to that. So that was fun. And then like milestones, like next summer is a really big milestone for Kelly, and she loves Broadway. She loves theater, which I don't know if you know, but that's not really my thing. But next summer we're gonna do New York City, and we're gonna do New York City and Broadway next summer. What?
New York City and Broadway next summer.
Yeah, we're just gonna binge on shows. I told her, let's just go for 3 days. We'll just do shows, or I'll just hang out at the pub, and you can go, but it's gonna be her thing. Yeah.
I'm curious, other people, how they handle that. I mean, I got some gifts off of Amazon, and there is a way that, by the way, a way that when you go into the, she'll still receive emails though, because it's her account, but there's a way to archive the orders so that the orders don't show up when somebody goes into the orders section of Amazon. They don't show up if you.
But the email though,
but the email is going to mess it up. Yeah,
we used to. I noticed a lot of professionals at a certain point in life get to that where it's a family, it's a family phone account, it's a family Amazon, blah, blah, blah. So like myself and the chefs, we would trade each other purchases. And so there was a time when Kelly thought she was getting like something, but it was actually the chef's wife, and we would, we'd order for each other. So that was pretty cool. I missed that from the restaurant. I don't really have that option these days, but maybe I'll find my tribe here,
Yeah. What I decided on was I got she really loves, we went to an Airbnb, and there was an espresso machine there once, and she brings it up every once in a while, like, oh, remember how good that coffee was? So I got an espresso machine for her.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah. So it was nice.
Did it pass the test? You looked like there was a little mediocre.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked for the one that was that was at the Airbnb, and it was a little pricey. So
I see.
I had to settle on something less expensive.
Gotcha. You're gonna have to pick up a couple extra podcast gigs to pull that other one off. Yeah, I hear you.
Yes. How about you, man? What about your week? What came up?
I've discovered the secret to happiness in Minnesota, and I didn't know it, man. I'm here to tell you. This is what everybody has come for. It's right. You didn't know you were getting into this week, did you?
Okay. What is it? And it's just happiness in Minnesota?
Well,
or happiness?
I think there's a little bit of a geography thing here, because some people in the audience are going to go, this bumbling idiot, which is part of the secret to the happiness. But other people in the audience, and yourself included, might go, no, that's just how we live. So here's what I've discovered. In Minnesota, nobody wears flip-flops. It's not a way of life.
Okay.
And you're perceived as like this like ambling, aimless, fish out of water. Nobody take this is I did read this there was a New York Times article about this, but I have adopted. It turns out I was adopting this way of life, and now I'm really leaning in and honing it. In any sort of professional or just day-to-day life setting, if you're wearing flip-flops, people's expectations of you drop dramatically. Outside of Florida and South Carolina and Southern California. And what I found is, if people have no expectations of you and don't take you seriously, they leave you alone. You can get on with life. You're not being pitched to buy stuff. Everybody thinks that you're, one step away from homelessness, and you clearly don't make good decisions. And you can just get on with life and be left alone. This is really magnified. Envision, if you will. So I've talked recently about the acres and acres of corn and hundreds of acres of corn around here. So we're in a bit of a farmland community here. Envision, if you will, me wearing a snake t-shirt and flip-flops when I go into the local Tractor Supply. Nobody speaks a word to me. Nobody's like, how can I help you? What do you need to buy today? Can I point you to the horse feed? They just figure I've just stumbled into the wrong place.
They're keeping an eye on you.
Yeah. And it's great, because you know what? I buy 6 items at Tractor Supply. I know exactly where they're at in the store. I don't need their help. I don't need their benefits card. I don't need their loyalty club. I don't want their emails, and they don't ask me. It's wonderful.
Little do you know, they're calling the FBI.
Well, they're starting to recognize me, though. They're starting to wonder, just what does Adam farm? Because I'm clearly not buying stuff just for my, HGTV house improvement show where I want some props. Like I'm clearly using the stuff. So
you've discovered, and you like people thinking less of you.
Oh yeah, that's the state. Yeah. If you think I'm a C- player, I got a real chance to impress you. But if you think I'm an A player, life's a little tougher.
And the flip flops is where it's at. That's what's gonna convince people that you're not serious. You're not a serious person.
That's right. It's more of an,
You're walking around Minnesota in a pair of flip flops.
yeah, and
Come
it's
on,
more.
what kind of work are you actually doing?
That's
Come
right.
on.
How could I possibly be doing any work? This guy isn't a farmer. This is some, confused. And could you imagine me standing there in flip-flops going, yeah, thousands of rodents, hundreds upon hundreds of pythons, and them going, and you know what they would say to themselves? We were right. He is insane. He's nuts. He's just in a pretend world, ambling along in his flip-flops.
So let me ask you this: what do you wear when you're tending to your stash, to your flip flops?
Yeah, flip-flops.
There's no uniform. There's no protective. I gotta protect my feet here by wearing steel-toed boots because one of the
No,
I don't know why.
no,
One of the stakes falls on it. I don't know.
no, like if depending what the job is, I might put on some Keens, some hiking boots, but that puts you right back into the thick of respectable Minnesotan life. So you only wear Keens in private, and if you don't want to be taken seriously. So,
really, you don't want to be respected. You just don't want to be respected.
It's nice, man. I spent 26 years wearing suits and bow ties, and flinging the corks off sabering the corks off a champagne bottle to impress people. It's great to be just ignore. I just want to be ignored. I just want to be, I can just get through life, cruising along. So,
is a bow tie respectable? Is a bow tie respectable?
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you, and this could lead. I don't know. Maybe it could be a little bit of a bridge of a segue. Let's shoehorn this thing. We'll figure this out.
Okay.
I will tell you from a marketing standpoint, and I think Steven at Leviathan Snakes, our resident marketing expert, whose shirt I am wearing today, I believe he's in the audience as well. One time I was working at the PGA Tour, and we got a very nice review. It was cool, and the person said, I can't remember the name of the guy that was helping us out, but he was great, and he had a bow tie and sideburns. Who else could that be? It was me, and that became the brand. So I was like, oh, well, I mean, I'm always gonna have my sideburns, but so it was like, wait a minute, I'm that dude, I'm that guy, and I can lean into it, and it became a marketing thing. So I became known as I always had to have. I just really owned the bow ties. So then I would wear bow ties exclusively. The other thing is, if you have to wear a suit and tie and you're dealing with food and you're leaning, a tie will inevitably get into all your crap. So imagine carrying a plate of bolognese. You don't need your tie dipping in the bolognese, man. That's no good. And it's going to ruin your tie. Then it's going to swish all over your shirt. So bow ties is much more practical. Now, makes sense. Ascots are pretty practical as well, but you really want to raise some eyebrows, stroll into Tractor Supply with your ascot on.
That's a different kind of disrespect.
That's right.
Well, what did you ever wear an ascot?
I own one. Yeah, those were more for So there's this world that I don't exist in very well. I have suits and I have flip flops. In between is this vast, uncomfortable area for me. So I would go to these dinner party things or be asked every now and again. A member would be like, oh, Adam, why don't you come? We'd like to invite you over, blah, blah, blah. You're like, okay. So you don't want to wear a bow tie because it's not that formal, but it's still one of those dinner things where you got to have a starched shirt and a jacket. If I'm putting on a jacket, I'm going all the way. But I discovered that I could wear an ascot, and because I don't know if you know, I'm not really a 2 buttons open chesty kind of guy. So so I would throw an ascot on for a little evening upscale.
That's interesting. I don't even know how an ascot works.
It's basically a scarf you just tuck into your shirt. That's it. There's really, you just wrap up your neck and tuck it in and make it fluffy. Dude. Yeah, that's it.
It's hot. It's good stuff.
You know, conversation starter, man. There we go. But anyway, yeah. So that's the bow tie story. So it started as sort of a lark, like, hell, I'm going to have some fun. If I have to dress up, I'll learn how to do this bow tie thing. And then I got that review, and I was like, oh, shoot,
bow tie and sideburns.
Yeah, let's do it. That's it, man. Let's own this thing. So, Joe, we did some show prep this week, which I was pretty excited about. And
we did.
I pitched you an idea, and you said, that reminds me of the hedgehog and the fox. And I said, man, that already sounds far more intriguing than what I was trying to convey. And I went and did some research, and it made me, I wore this shirt specifically because Stephen and I have had this debate for years. We've had probably 5 episodes of content debating the hedgehog and the fox, and I didn't know that that's what we were debating. So, can you, as the resident academic, catch us up on this hedgehog fox theory?
I'm not a resident academic, but it basically boils down to,
look at what I got, man. Like, own it. Like, you could be the flip flop academic. Like, you can start low, but like, let's do this thing.
It's based off this concept that the fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. And so the idea is the difference between a fox and a hedgehog is the fox has many different diverse strategies in which he approaches a scenario. So there's all different that's why he's a sly fox. There's all these different things that he employs to get what he wants. What the hedgehog knows is one big thing, which is in the parable, it's he knows how to defend himself. So if he's attacked by a predator, let's say a fox, he knows the one thing that is defend himself. He curls himself into a ball. He sticks out his spikes, and it's really hard to attack that defense. So if he focuses on this one thing, he's going to survive. And meanwhile, the fox is left without a meal. You know?
Yeah.
So
the fox goes hungry. Yeah.
So the difference is, do you focus on that one thing that makes you who you are, or do you employ many different strategies to get what you want? And then there are people. Then the original essay, I think, is by I think the guy's name is Isaiah Berlin. There's categorizing, like, this philosopher looks through one lens. He's a hedgehog, and this philosopher looks through many different lenses, and he's a fox. So it's like a kind of a categorization. Now, then it becomes something different later on in, like, the business world. There's the people employ it to say, focus on your one thing, the thing that you are passionate about. And I've mentioned Jim Collins before, but he has 3 different aspects of a hedgehog concept. Find what your hedgehog concept is. And there's 3 different things that you need to think about in order to find your hedgehog.
And let me go back to the original essay. By the way, in these academic settings, my wife works in this, and sometimes we go to these cocktail parties. So I have a little mental academic bingo board. Just so you know, I did cross off through the lens. That's one of the squares. So I'm on my way to bingo. I'll let you know if I hit it. I'm aiming next. I'm aiming for vis-a-vis next. That's my next square that I think I'll get. Just so you know, I mean, it's good when trends hold true, you know. In the original essay, this is fun. In the original essay, does he argue that one is better than the other, or is it one of these paper rock scissors games that there's benefits to each, yet they both can win in a sort of circular way?
In the original essay, it's neutral.
Okay,
it's neutral, but subsequently, where I first learned about it was through Jim Collins, which was he's definitely more of a hedgehog thinker.
Yes.
Find your hedgehog. Find the thing that you're good at, and focus with. And it's a part of this 3-part of turning this pinwheel for success. It's disciplined thought. Don't be distracted by these other things that seem like great strategies.
Right.
Have disciplined thought and stay focused on your hedgehog.
What would this gentleman say if you were to be his microphone, or no, his no microphone, the what do you blast things out with? Bullhorn. Megaphone. If you were to be his megaphone, what would he say to the idea of, well, we need a little bit of diversification to survive, and it's a mighty big risk to push all your chips in, so to speak, to use a different analogy, on just one area. And we've all heard in markets that the only free ride is diversification, particularly in long-term investing.
Yeah. So Berlin would say you need both, and he's thinking in a grander scale, on a grander scale. Berlin would say civilization needs both kinds of thinkers.
Sure.
And then, but Collins is talking specifically about what to do with your business. And his thing is, you cannot be distracted. Don't get distracted by other, like, bells and whistles of strategy. Find the thing that makes you different. Find the thing. And actually the 3 things are, what are you deeply passionate about? What can you be the best in the world at? And then what drives your economic engine? Where those 3 things intersect, that's your hedgehog that you need to stay focused on.
Okay.
And you can tell I'm looking at another screen, remembering.
Hey, show prep is good, man. Show prep is good. People are going to take us seriously. We better watch out. We're going to get rid of these flip-flops here before too long, man.
This is slowly becoming a bow tie show instead of a flip-flop show.
That's right. Hey, who knows? Next Thursday might be Ascot Thursday. We never know, man.
We got to find the mid ground of Ascot. We want to be an Ascot show.
No, we don't. No, we don't. The snake t-shirts are where it's at, my man. Let me tell you. So, but how far to take it? So, all right, let's bring this around to reality. And again, I'll reference Stephen and I's debates sometimes. So, I would argue my focus and my ultimate focus is ball pythons. Some people say, Adam, you're too focused. You need to get into corn snakes. You could get into crested geckos. You could get into crocodile skinks, which are, if I am going to get another pet, crocodile skinks. Oh God, they're cool. And I go, no, I'm focused on ball pythons. So that person thinks I'm too uber focused. They think I'm the hedgehog. Then I talk to somebody like Steven, and he goes, you got too many morphs, man. You're all over the place. You need to just focus on one morph. And Steven goes, that's what we did. We chose Sunset. We're the people with Sunset. We're going to be known as the people with Sunset. And clearly he's trained me over the 3 years, because I've said Steven, Leviathan, and Sunset 9 times now. And that was the goal for him on that. So we're like, which lens do we look through of is ball python the hedgehog, or is the morph the hedgehog? And where's it too far? Like, are you going to be a baker? Okay, should you only make sourdough, or should you make marble rye as well, but you're not going to make spaghetti?
Yeah, I think it can be both of those things. That's gonna be, I don't know if it can, but that would be my approach. And maybe that's not Jim Collins' approach, but that would be my approach. If your passion is ball pythons, but see, it's thinking about what sets you apart. What are you going to be the best in the world at? Are you going to be the best in the world at ball pythons? No, you're going to be the best in the world at what could you be the best in the world at? Creating an educational brand in the ball python world.
Sure.
And so so that's what's gonna, that's the thing that's gonna, that's your hedgehog. That's what you're focusing on. Yes, you have ball python, so you're honing it in on that. But I think what sets you apart, what you're going to be the best, what you could be the best in the world at, is creating a brand that is creating community and educational community about ball pythons. So
yeah,
it's not necessarily focused on your product. It's focusing on what you're trying to create, what you could be the best in the world at.
yeah, that's a good angle on it. So I take a lot of pride in, I think if I were to boil down like what my skill set is and what I'm truly good at, it's adapting and taking opportunities as they come, maximizing those opportunities, and hopefully cultivating more opportunities. Some people in my life have perceived that as luck, and I really not resent, that's a really strong word, but a little piece of me resents when people are like, man, you just get lucky. And I'm like, do I? Does it just happen over and over and over? Yeah. Or
I would never say that about you. Knowing what I know of you, I would never say that.
Yeah, they think it's lucky, but they don't see me knocking on doors. They don't see me, lining up guests every Tuesday night for 3 years. That's not easy to do, and it cultivates great relationships and opportunities. So I would say that is my strength. And I like that mindset in business. Hey, here's an opportunity. Let me maximize it. But in the background, particularly with ball pythons, because these things take a long time, in the background, I do want to be the best in the world. And I'm behind because these things take a long time. There's a gene combination called super gravel. I can envision in 10 years that everything I have being some variation on super gravel. The problem is generationally, these things take a long time. And I didn't land on that because of the word passion. I needed something that struck me as so exciting, so wonderful, that had more than just financial gains. And I think a lot of people in the audience are going, Adam, if you spend 10 years working on super gravel, you're going to waste your money. And I'm going, you don't see it the way that I see it. I got plans, and that's going to be my thing. That's fine. But it's going to take me a while to get there. So I take not only pride, I take calm. It brings me calm and confidence, knowing the first part of that conversation, I can cultivate all that stuff while I'm getting to my super gravel, end game nirvana kind of deal.
Yeah.
So
and everything that you just said, are those three aspects of finding the hedgehog, which is, what are you passionate about? What's going to make you money? What's going to drive your economic engine? And then the third thing, which is what can you be the best in the world at? So like for Stephen, it might be, I'm going to be the best in the world at Leviathan, and I'm really passionate as well. I'm going to be the best in the world at Sunset. I'm really passionate about Sunset, and you know what? If I focus on this, it's going to drive my economic engine.
Yeah. Let me say thanks to so Chris, Steven, Shane, and Paul, and I'm probably forgetting somebody else. They were on this Red Line road trip this past week. They went to Canada. They went to the big Canadian Reptile Breeders Expo, the CRBE. It was all documented, great shenanigans. They even put a storyline behind it, almost pro wrestling-esque with their promos and trouble that they caused each other. So I had a fun time. But a lot of those guys helped me out as well with a little marketing campaign I have coming up heading into Tinley. So those will start hitting the airwaves soon. So I got to give a special thanks to those guys. And, Chris really delivered. I tell you, it's one thing to pitch an idea to somebody. It's a whole other thing to have them put their own spin on it and really deliver with their own personality. So big thanks to all of those guys as well. So here's a question though. And I always think about this from like a musical standpoint as well. You can have your passion, you can have your specialty. What about paying the bills? So you talk about the economic engine. I could dream all that, but if it's going to take me 10 years to get there, what do I do in the meantime? Same thing with music. Oh, you're just playing covers in an Irish pub. Yeah, because I got to eat. You know what pays the bills is a paycheck
Yes.
and a tip jar. So yeah, it might be soul crushing to over and over play those 4 chords in the same song again. But you know what? I didn't go clock in tonight. I didn't have anybody yell at me about their table, and they put money in a jar so I could play 4 chords, man. There's something I'm passionate about.
You're playing music, which is what you're passionate about. You're
Right.
playing music. Now, that's why finding the thing that you are going to be focused on can't just be what am I most passionate about. It has to be the intersection of those 3 things. What's going to make you money? What are you passionate about that you're going to keep focused on?
So you're saying it's only good enough if it does cross into those other
yes,
2
that's
vents.
your hedgehog. Yeah,
I got you. So you can love something all you want, but it's got to have those other components.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's got to be something that you can be the best in the world at, or you can strive to be the best in the world at. I mean, that's kind of the vision that you're gonna create for your business. I mean, I think it's funny because I think that you think of yourself as a fox,
right?
But you're the discipline with which you approach your business. It's disciplined thought. You created a brand and you want to stick to that brand, and maybe you haven't defined those 3 pieces in the way that we're defining them, but you have this disciplined approach to your brand, and it's becoming something that what I said earlier, what I think is your thing is it's like this community creation of positivity within this industry, and then being a part, and then I mean you're also a breeder, but that gives you clout. It all goes to this the creation of this overall brand of Proper Royals, I think. And you're very disciplined about what's going to be on brand, what's going to be off brand, that kind of thing, and that's the kind of disciplined thought of a hedgehog.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty stubborn about there's some multiple, not just one, several people that recently have worked with me that are like, yeah, Adam's pretty stubborn about that brand.
Yeah.
So, and it's,
I mean, me included. There have been points
that's true. Yeah, we've gone, this isn't going to fly.
There's been points at which I've said to you, listen, we got to talk about this thing. It just happened in the world. And you're like, well, that's not what we do. That's not what we're going to do. And which is complete. That's perfect. That's hedgehog thinking. That is being focused. It's not because something happens, I got to go and address it somehow. It's staying focused and knowing your one big thing, your one big secret that the hedgehog knows.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna adopt this. Maybe I'll be like, I'm envisioning like a fox wearing a hedgehog coat, like a pelt, like a little bit of, a little something in there. So
it's like it is like it's also something that Berlin says about Leo Tolstoy. Tolstoy is somebody who thinks wants to be a fox, but in his conviction is a hedgehog, or the opposite.
Okay.
In some way. Yeah.
Interesting.
How he actually acts is being focused through this. Oh boy, through this one lens of looking at things.
Yeah, baby. Check. So I put together some show notes and on this topic, and I took a stab at it before Joe and I had this conversation. Before that, though, let me tell you about the great people that support us, all specialists at what they do, and I would argue some of the best in the world at what they do. Cold-Blooded Cafe, the finest in frozen rodents. I would say that the differentiating factor for me is both that they raise all their own rats. There's no lab rat purchases. There's no, shipping containers of frozen rats coming across oceans to their facility. They raise and feed every one of their rats themselves. So you know what you're getting in the rat feeders that you get from them. The service is great. They've been great to work with. And Cold-Blooded Cafe sets up right across the aisle in Tinley from me. So when you come by the Proper Royals table and see myself and you see Chris at B&S Reptilia, then you can go see Cold-Blooded as well. In the meantime, use the promo code PROPER11 to get yourself 11% off of an order. I am The 11 code is only good for one order, but I am working on a legacy discount. You use the promo code 11 to like get your hooks in, and then you get a little residual after that. So we're working that out. Clearly it's not that would be more discounts provided by them. So no guarantees, but we are working on that. That's something that we both like the idea of. But in the meantime, go check them out. Also, Husbandry Pro, I am a big fan. You'll see a upcoming video. I don't want to put a time frame on it, but it is coming up. One thing I'm finding about Husbandry Pro, yes, it collects your data. You have all your data stored in one place. It's smooth. It's easy. What I'm finding is that it's really saving me time. You'll see a video before long about the 5 ways that it saves me a lot of time. And we all know in this life, the time is really where our value is. Use the promo code proper60 for 60 free days. And you can, if you don't remember that, you can go to properroyals.com, and there's a handy button you can push right there. You don't even have to remember the code. You're going to get your 60 free days. That's 30 extra days beyond their normal trial period. Creative Genetics, that is Keith out in Fresno, California. Keith is working the stranger gene in pied, axanthic, hypo clown combos, doubles, singles, doubles, triples, hets, visuals. So check out Creative Genetics. He and I are working on breeding projects. Those babies are soon to be coming to market. The next round of them, the first batch sold out. We got triple hets coming to market and some double het, possible gravels. I got to get those tested. I'm not sure how many of the gravels will go to market. Those might stay right here. Lots more coming though. Just had some ovulations and eggs this week as well. So stay tuned on that. Last but not least is Reagan, Renee, Royal Pythons. That's Charlie Ryan up there in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. If you're in the area, check them out. Total excellence in breeding, nice, high quality, high end projects. I won't bore you because we all hear high end projects, quality, blah, blah, blah. Check out his morph market right now. There is a candy pied with axanthic mixed in, and I believe one other recessive mixed in. 13 animal collection project ready to go. He's pretty excited to sell, if you know what I'm saying. Check it out, and thanks for all the support and camaraderie from all of those sponsors and audience. I appreciate you. You all sit through the promos every week, which is amazing as well. I always watch the metrics, and you're still here, which I am incredibly grateful. All right, so big finish. We got another 10 minutes here.
Let me just say, I am not a fox, or I'm not a hedgehog. That's
Okay.
that's my biggest issue, I think. Is that I'm more of a fox, and not even a fox. I get distracted. I don't have disciplined thought. I don't have disciplined thought to go, okay, I am so passionate about this. How's it going to make me money? And how can I be the best in the world at it? Like I think about that, and then I get distracted. I watch a television show, or I make a meal, and I drink some wine, and then the thought is gone. So in that respect, I'm more like, there's always been this thing, the saying, jack of all trades. The end of that is master of none. Jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not, and we've talked about this, I think, on
we have
before, and I think that's the downside of the fox mentality.
Well, but that's a perception of one essay. The other person would go, you know what? You're always going to have a job. You're always going to get paid. And those things that you just talked about enjoying, you're always going to have a TV. You're always going to have a meal. You can always have a bottle of wine if you got a paycheck and you're always getting work and getting paid. So I love the idea that there's many, many different ways to get through life and succeed. And
yeah.
I lest there be any confusion, I damn sure don't claim to know the best way. Let's make sure that that's clear. I'm just stumbling around exploring my own thoughts. But a little FOMO urgency. Charlie says, Monday my new racks come in, and if not sold, that deal comes down off of Morph Market. Dun dun dun.
Get them while you can.
That's right. And it's cool, guys. Like, it seriously, there's some cool stuff there. It's worth your time to check out for sure. And the snakes per dollar ratio is pretty handsome, I have to say. Okay, so I put together some notes, Joe. You could tell me your thoughts. So one thought was a niche focus versus a diversification of morphs. The hedgehog breeder would specialize in a particular morph and might become known as the expert on that morph, whereas a fox diversifies their projects by working with multiple morphs, combining various genetics to create unique, one-of-a-kind ball pythons. Now, I talk a lot about blue chips, proven, proven standards and all that. And I still go back to one can lead to the other. Both can exist. I could pay the bills on the proven blue chips while I'm working on my niche project, my one-off kind of thing. So I kind of straddle the fence on there. This one I like: risk management and market trends. Hedgehogs may be more vulnerable to shifts in demand if they're too committed. This is the one that I lose sleep over. If you're too committed to one morph, or is it niche or niche? I don't know. I say both of them. Fox breeders, you got a buffer against market fluctuations due to the diversified inventory. So you have to believe so seriously. This is what I talk to Steven about all the time. Hey, sunsets are cool, but are they great enough to be cool enough forever? Like, how long does this train ride for? And he's proven very successful at what he does. The other thing I'm learning, these genetics, it takes so long for them to evolve. Like, if something's got a head of steam, it's going to have a head of steam. It's actually not as volatile as we think day to day, talking in our own little circles. Oh, the market's good. Oh, the market sucks. Blah, blah. Just keep working. Like, this stuff is, these are long trains that take a long time to speed up and slow down, I think.
Well, it's not like in your examples that you're coming up with, it's not just about the product, right? It's not just about the product. It is about, like, Leviathan might be known for sunsets and become the best in the world at sunsets. And people go, if I want a sunset, I'm going to Leviathan. But let's say somebody else, let's say it's you. Adam is the best at treating his customer really, really well. I'm going to Adam because I'm treating it's not necessarily just about the product that you're putting out. It's doing your thing the best it can be.
Yeah. And I do agree with that. And then I found this wonderful atomism, the circular gray area, which is of course where life happens. And the big conclusion is it's not a fox or a hedgehog. It's where it's slightly off center. Where do you lean to? Which is most of life. That's probably politics. That's for most of us. That's probably beliefs, maybe even religion. You're like, yeah, I'm mostly there. I might be a little one-sided. I get it, you know? So this thought was, innovation versus mastery. The classic fox hedgehog argument would say that a hedgehog prioritizes mastery over innovation. Fox breeders thrive on innovation.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
However, mastery in ball pythons is innovation. You never stop and go, I've made it, I'm done. Because then the first customer that buys that snake and adds one gene to it the next generation, it's no longer mastered or done. So innovation is mastery in ball pythons, and that is where this gray area of life that we're stumbling through trying to understand
is mastery.
Yeah. And mastery is innovation. Yeah. So it's that was my big wrap up aha moment when Joe said, let's talk about the hedgehog and the fox.
The hedgehog and the fox. And you need to innovate. You need to figure out how to be the best in the world at something. But I think you need that discipline of going, how am I going to do it? There was just a comment at the beginning of the show. You could focus on one thing and do it the best, but you could have many different strategies of marketing it then.
Right.
That's so I think there has to be some thinking of both ways of doing it. You just can't lose your core. Like, you can't lose your hedgehog. You can't lose the thing that's driving your money, that you're most passionate about, and that you can be the best in the world at. If you stay focused on that, you can figure out all different strategies. You just can't lose. You can't be drawn away from that hedgehog by going, well, now I'm going to be this now. I'm going to do this now, because then you're just going to be floundering, trying all different types of things.
Well, and I think in a really practical way, and what really echoes like my financial beliefs, is you can have a Fox mechanism that provides cash flow that funds and keeps you alive while you're working on your hedgehog thing. Yeah. There's a reason that there's a stereotype of a starving artist, but what about an artist that gets to eat? That's even better. Like, yeah, you can play your gigs while you're writing your masterpiece. You know what I mean? And it can fund it. So I think you can do both. Joe, what do you got coming up this week that's fun? What are you looking forward to, man?
I don't actually. This is going to be a real quiet weekend.
Okay, that's worth looking forward to.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a real quiet, and it's been super busy at work for me. So I'm just looking forward to the weekend. I'm gonna watch some football, just relax. I got to mow the lawn, so stuff like that.
I think one of our I think one of our collective household teams play. I think the Vikings. Do the Vikings play the Bills? Is that who we got this week?
Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe Monday night.
Yeah, well, you let Chelsea know. We're gonna the Sam Darnolds of the northern Midwest are on their way, or maybe you're coming to us. I'm not even sure.
I don't know. I think the Vikings are playing somebody else. I think.
Is it the Jags then?
I think the Jaguars are playing the Bills. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe that's it. Say I'm a Jags Viking guy. I thrive on the lower tiers of history of the NFL, of heartbreak and sorrow.
The other thing I'm looking forward to is receiving a package in the mail from Adam, because he said he was going to send me something, and I waited by my mailbox all week and it never came. So I know that it's already in the mail. It just got caught up somehow. And
right. So yeah. The Postal Service these days. I mean, the irony is that I probably literally could walk to my local small town post office. It's the whole.
But you're too focused. You're too disciplined about what your day is.
I got stuff to do, man. Yeah, I do. It does sit in my office staring at me. I have a new gig this weekend coming up. I got a last minute call on either on Tuesday, actually, just before I kicked off the show Tuesday night. I'll be playing my first ever police and fire private corporate gig. So I'm hanging out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it's with there's a longer, funnier story. Not funny. It's a neat story, but it's with a band. And they have a guitarist and singer that's very similar to my style, but he travels a lot and he's actually a pilot and he can't be there for the gig. So usually when somebody gets a call to like fill in, it says like a sideman hired gun, but like I'm the front man, like it's my band that night kind of thing. So no, it's fun. We've done it before and it fits like a glove. Like those guys are pros. And again, our stuff overlaps so much. They're familiar with the music. So we do a quick rundown Friday and then Saturday we'll hit it, but I got to give props. That's called the Donegal Band here in the Minneapolis area. So I'll be out playing with the Donegal Band at the
that's great. That's
police
great.
And fire. What is it? A police and fire, something or other. So we will we'll get to that, which is pretty fun too. Yeah, Big Friends. That's good. Let's pop that one back up there. Big Friends at All American Reptile and Plant Show in Charlotte. I had Nick on from the promoter. He was on Tuesday night. Check that out. Go see them. It's a great show. And they've been good friends and very kind to me, which is always special. And I didn't get a chance to read because I was speaking. Invest advice is a hedge against risk and works best for preserving what you have. Specializing is better for growth, but has higher risk. Sure, yeah, different time, life stages, business stages. I think that can be applied as well. You guys can search the library of Proper Royals content for Leviathan if you want to hear us debate this stuff ad nauseum. We have picked it apart, and I've enjoyed every bit of it, and we'll do it again. I promise that. So, all right, Joe, I guess that wraps it up, man.
All right. That was a great conversation. Thanks. Got my brain going.
Hey, look what a little show prep did for us too. This is all right here.
Thanks everybody for coming. I love Thursday mornings. Let's keep this going. I will see you next Thursday. Stay safe, stay cool, and enjoy yourselves.
Enjoy your flip-flops, guys. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.